Hello, it's Missy's Creations. I am going to do another Coke bottle bottom, and spin it out. The last one I created turned out like this, it is super cool. Don't get me wrong, it is super cool. The paint ended up being a little too thick, and I don't know if you can see if it'll focus. There's little holes, little pinholes, even though I torched it and torched it and torched it and torched it. So, with that said, a couple challenging things was the middle. So this time I created, you can see that, a little star like design, and I'm going to put that in the middle. So when the idea is when the paint comes in, that it'll create a little star design. Who knows if it'll work? You never know unless you try, right? I have the same colors that I used last time, but I have a ton of other colors that I found that I want to use up. A lighter green, a darker green, a lighter yellow, a really pretty pink. I have sky blue. Others I don't have labeled. I don't know what they are. And I'm just going to use them up and try to create something cool. My spinner, you'll see it when I zoom out and spin. But my spinner is from Erica Hughes. So it's Erica Hughes Art. You can find her on YouTube. And let's paint. First thing I'm going to do is put down, this is Creative Inspirations Titanium White. I'm going to put that down in the middle. Try to center that as best as possible. Well, now that's not going to work. Oh well. I tried. I'm going to keep going. But the paint came up. This orange thing needs to be longer. It's not long enough right now, but I'm not stopping. I am going to continue. And I know better for next time. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the outside, and I'm going to start with dark green. I'm thinking as I spin it, maybe it'll look more like leaves with the flower design. I don't know. I'm going to try. Alright, so I just had a thought. And I'm just going to talk out loud to see if I'm going to do it or not. To pick this up and just move it to where those could actually look like leaves versus just the outside of the flower. I don't know. What the heck, you never know unless you try, right? Alright, so now onto the flower. Purple. We're going to do some white first. I should have done that before I spun it. I mean, turned it. That's all right. Purple. Let's do the lighter shade of purple right away. Put a little white in there. Let's do blue. Oh, probably more like, I forget the name of the color. I did state it in my other bottom pour with a spin video. This time I just kind of grabbed the colors that I think would go well together and create a really cool design. I know this one's sky blue. That one I do know. A little bit of white. Not a lot of white. I think I did too much white in the other bottom pour. Because when I spun it, there became too much white, and I didn't like that. Okay. Going to do, I don't know, we'll call it hot pink. I did give the description of the color in my other video. I do know that this pink, I created this myself. And I created it a long time ago. It's just a pink. It could even be that shade of pink with lots of white added to it. A little bit of pink and lots of white. Kind of had it sitting around long enough that it's time to use it. And I think I found a design that it'll look really good in. A little bit of white. Right, and here's the yellow. I think this is Azo Lemon Yellow. I will say most of these colors are Amsterdam. I know that for a fact. Some of the other ones, I have Artist Loft and Liquitex. There is a possibility that they are those brands. And this is Azo, what I just poured, the lemon yellow with some white, just to lighten it up. All right, now, so I am going to pour, it's starting to roll under already. And I don't like that. It's not the goal. My green's almost gone. And I'm wondering if, because my green's almost gone, if I should put some green on the inside of the flower. Just a little bit. Just maybe the light colors. I'm gonna try it. There we go. A little bit of white just to... I like the white to break up the colors. Now, when I moved it, I did mess up a little bit. Didn't realize that it was going to throw it off. Live and learn. Let's make some designs. Voila. Or as Kelly Bundy says, viola. Always torture bubbles. All right, there you have it. I think that's pretty cool. I even like that better than the last one that I did. But I have to do my edges. I'm gonna work on my edges off camera. I just have to do those corners. I'm just gonna drip some white paint down so they get covered. There you have it. Thanks for watching. Bye.